Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Fiercely Spiritual podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about a topic that I know a lot of you are going to be interested in, and that's the most effective way to manifest the life that you want. I'm going to share with you one key step towards manifesting the life you want. I'll explain the importance of this step and I'll share why it is so effective. So, want to know what this step is? Do you want to hear it? Are you ready? Can you handle this? Okay, I'm going to share this with you. So, the most effective way to manifest the life that you want is to stop dabbling and become consistent. That's it. Stop dabbling and become consistent. So I know it's not mind-blowing, it's not rocket science, it's probably not something new, but it's something that so few of us do. So let me explain a little bit. What is dabbling? What do I mean when I say dabbling? So dabbling is when you meditate every day for a week or even for a month. And then you give up because you're not getting the results you want. You're not seeing the progress or you're not feeling any better. So you just give up. Or it's when you go to yoga class once a week and you do a great yoga class, you meditate at the end, you feel zen out. And then for the rest of the week, you eat junk food, you don't do any other exercise, you go out and party, and you're not carrying that through the entire week. And it's not to say that there's anything wrong with that. It's no judgment. In fact, if you're doing yoga once a week, that is wonderful. But when we dabble, we're not carrying through the practice into the rest of our lives. We're doing a little bit here. Maybe you're sitting and meditating for 5 minutes every day or 10 minutes, which is wonderful. But maybe the rest of the day, you don't carry that meditative practice with you and you remain stressed for 99% of your day. Dabbling is when you know what you want out of life, but you're not prepared to do what it takes. You have a clear picture in your mind, but you're not following through and taking the action steps that it takes. So you know what I mean when I'm talking about dabbling. So what's being consistent? Well, for me, consistency is simply creating a habit that you do day in, day out, no matter what. So if it's your meditation practice, you do it each day. It doesn't have to be an hour, it can be a few minutes each day, but you do it no matter what. Now, I compare this to other habits that we have in our lives. We all have the habit of eating every day, usually 3 meals. Maybe you only have 2 meals a day, but we all have a habit of eating every day. You have other habits like brushing your teeth, getting dressed in the morning. A lot of people have an exercise habit that is non-negotiable. It has to happen every day, and that's it. And that's really what it is. It's a habit that you create that's non-negotiable. Now, what has this got to do with manifesting? So, what happens when we're manifesting something in our life? We do the vision boards, we do the meditations, we sit and we experience the good feelings, but then afterwards we go and we stay in fear and doubt and we undo all the good work we've done. And it's like we have our foot on the accelerator when we're doing the positive work and we're creating vision boards and we're doing the meditations and we're doing the visualizations. But as soon as you stop that process and you go back your day and you start fearing or doubting or worrying about the thing manifesting, then you're putting the foot on the brake. So you're pressing the accelerator, but then immediately after you're putting the foot on the brake. And if you are not consistent, then you are not going to manifest what you want. Because if you're in a car and you press the accelerator and in the next moment you press accelerator for maybe 1 minute, you move a bit forward, but you keep your foot on the brake for the rest of the day, you are not going to get anywhere. And it might seem you're inching your way forward, which you're probably inching your way forward a little bit, but you're not getting to your destination. Your destination could seem like it's a million miles away, and it is when you are operating that way. So becoming consistent, stop dabbling, become consistent. If you want something in life, decide what you want it and be certain about it. Be definite. Be so in, what's the word? Be so certain that it is coming to you, that it doesn't leave any room for fear or doubt. And if you find that you're still experiencing some fear or some doubt, have something to oppose the fear. So say you want a new relationship in your life and you're thinking, okay, this is how it's going to feel when I'm in the relationship. It's going to feel so good and I'm going to feel really happy. I'm going to feel so much love and I'm going to feel all the good feels, and you're going through everything that you want in the relationship and you are getting into it and you're exploring it in your mind and how it's going to look, and you're doing all the right things. But then as the day goes on, you sit down maybe in the evening time, you're feeling a bit tired and you notice some fear creeping in. You start thinking, well, maybe this isn't going to happen for me, or maybe I'm being unrealistic. So that fear starts to creep in. So have something to counter that fear. Acknowledge it. You don't need to resist it in any way, because what we resist persists. But just have something to counter it. Maybe it's a positive affirmation. Maybe it's something like, I deserve love in my life. And it could be something that simple. And just repeating that to yourself to counter the fear and to acknowledge the fear, acknowledge that there is a little bit there. And you can always do some work on that, maybe some journaling. But just have something to counter it so you don't get sucked into that fearful downward spiral. And becoming consistent is staying in the knowing more than you are staying in the fear or doubt. Okay, if you have fear, if you have some doubt, and it is occupying 1% or even 49% of your thoughts, if 51% of your time, which is the tipping point, you are certain that that thing is coming to you, if 51% of the time you are in that certainty, you're being consistent, then you are getting forward momentum. Otherwise, you are starting and stopping, and that isn't going to get you anywhere. And that's why maybe after a month you give up and think, okay, well, this isn't going to happen. And it's like that seed is just about to burst through the earth that you've planted, but you haven't given it enough time. You haven't watered it with enough positive thoughts and love. You haven't nurtured it with enough sunshine and light, and you've just poured more soil on top of it and stamped on it and just given up on it before it can burst through the surface. So that's my advice: to stop dabbling, become consistent, and maintain that practice, whatever it is. Maintain your faith, maintain your certainty, and know that what is coming to you will come about. Some things can take longer than others. Remember, there's divine timing, which we don't always take into consideration. We have to allow for that as well. But being certain while you're waiting and enjoying the waiting process, enjoying the anticipation, enjoying the thoughts of what's to come, and being in that mode of expectancy, of positive outcomes, expecting something wonderful. And your whatever it is you're manifesting will come about if you stay consistent and if you allow yourself to be consistent, to be certain, and to stop dabbling and dipping in and out when it suits or when you're feeling in a good mood. So again, no judgment. We've all been there, including myself, and I certainly know what it's like to dabble and to then allow fear to get in the way and to give up before the manifestation has occurred. But the reason why I'm sharing this with you today is because I know that when I'm consistent, when I keep going, even long after I've sometimes wanted to give up, then that's what brings the reward, and you will be rewarded. So I hope you practice this. I hope you remain consistent in your practice, in your manifestation process, and I hope you enjoy the process. So I will see you again soon. Thank you once again for being here. Bye-bye.